Morning, folks. Today we're going to do a bag dump and show you the gear I run in the Elkwoods. Um, it took me a lot of years to fine tune what I run and what I pack, and I'm still doing that today. I think that's something everybody's always doing, especially when it comes closer to season. Everybody's getting anxious and going through their bags and see what they need or what they're missing, and going from there. I still fine tune every year too, so like what you'll see here might change just a little bit next year, maybe a knife or something. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy with what I'm running today, and it's more or less just the essentials and the comfort of what I got going here. So I'm running this pack, which is a Mystery Ranch Sawtooth. Recent years, I ran QU's pack, and I really enjoyed their bag. It was a good pack. I just felt like it was, when they say they built for, ultra light, they're not lying. And they got some toughness to them, but for what the style of hunting I do, I wanted something that's going to last multiple years. And Mystery Ranch has hit all my check marks that I was looking at. So we switched over to these guys. Don't think I'll be looking backwards. There was a few other big pack companies out there that are really good. EXO makes a great pack. Stone Glacier makes a great pack. Between the two packs, though, and then adding this Mystery Ranch in the mix, I felt like I was more close to home with the Mystery Ranch. The layouts, the accessories, and everything I felt was more to my need. Nothing against the other pack companies; they just wasn't fitting my boxes. So, before I dig into this pack, though, I will tell you I'm weighing roughly with water, and I run about 2 liters, sometimes 3, depending on where I know I'm going to go, because I also have a pump. And where a lot of my hunts are, there's a lot of springs and stuff. So I'm running roughly around 16 to 18 pounds. And that's everything I need in this bag. And it doesn't feel like nothing. Yeah, some people say that might be a little heavy. Some people say, oh, it's a little light. It's really not that bad. So, but during off season, like hanging cameras and stuff like that, I do run a little heavier. I try to run in the 20-25 pound range, maybe even push it to 30, just to get that extra weight, just to kind of more or less just stretch your legs in the mountains anyways. So it's great. So right before season hits, you're dumping everything but your essentials that you need, and your pack feels like it's not even on your back, which is super great. So let's get started. So I'm running the Mystery Ranch Sawtooth. It's a suitcase style open. I usually carry a Nalgene, sometimes full, sometimes empty. I'll probably carry this year where we're going probably empty because I'll pump water if I need it. But it's great to have a backup because I've had a bad experience with a bladder, and that was poorly set up is what it was. It was kind of in the way of my bowstring, and when I shot it, knocked the nozzle off of it and drained my whole bladder. And luckily enough, I carried just a plastic bottle where I could fill up water throughout the day. But that would, if you didn't have that bottle, man, that'd have been kind of a scare. I think we were 7.5 miles back there, and I would have had no water besides that pump. So recently picked up an Nalgene. Enjoy it. I usually just run it empty. It's nice. I can throw it in my pack. It doesn't weigh anything. Usually fill this up right before I cook. This way it gives you all your measurements. So that's good. I picked up the Mystery Ranch bear spray holster. It's pretty tough. I like the feel of it. It's just a great accessory. It can go in your hip pouch. One of my recent buddies, he's a real big backpack hunter. He just goes out whenever, and he's got 20 plus years of experience in doing this. So he's teaching me some things little tricks that he learned. He likes to D-ring to his shoulder straps, and it's a good trick. I'll have to put some photos up so you guys can see how he does that. But I enjoy that instead of being on your belt, because if I take this pack off for some reason during the day, I can put this and D-ring it right to my belt loop, and I still have my bear spray with me. So let's tear into it and show you what I got going on. On the top lid there's usually nothing there. It's usually, sometimes I'll throw my cell phone in there. My headlamps will go in there. I'll take it out of the pack, put it up top if I know I'm going to come out late. For the most part, I don't carry, I mean, maybe some snacks too. It's just easy to get to. You just take the 2 buckles off here. And with this pack especially, you got this nice big old open pocket. And you can carry a few snacks and sometimes your cell phone. We'll start off the side pockets here, and it's hard to see. I picked up 2 of their side pockets for each side. This side, I just carry my inReach. That's the only thing that goes in this pocket, and well, chapstick too. But for the most part, my inReach will sit in this, some chapstick. The other side is all my elk calls, which I really enjoy having that there. I mean, I can carry everything in the, multiple calls. Which is super nice. I run Rocky Mountain elk calls. They seem to be my favorite calls. I've tried some other ones and they just don't really fit my palate very well. So, and Rocky Mountain elk calls are just, I don't know, so far work for me. There's multiple calls other people work. Like my boy, he can only use Phelps calls. I can't. I just don't have the palate for it. So on the side here, I usually carry my trekking poles. Easy access to get to. You can put these. This pack is built big enough inside. I could put them inside. There is a side stuff it pocket that I could put these in, but I like them right here. They're just easy to get to, and they're kind of out of the way. Instead of that, just gives me more room. These can get wet, so it doesn't matter if they're outside. We'll go inside the pack, which I like. Is just this? It's a suitcase style open, and I can open her on up and get on in there. Here's my water bladder. It's got a nice little water bladder pouch, so I carry that. On the side, I usually have my rain jacket right here. It's really easy to get to. It stays out of the way though. Pretty much going to be packing that for both September and October probably. On the very bottom, I got game bags. I love running the Caribou Gear game bags. I feel like they're pretty tough and they really clean up nice. You get most of the blood off, throw them in the washing machine, let them dry, roll them back up nice and tight, put them back in your bag, and they're good to go again. I haven't had a problem with them yet compared to some cheaper bags. Again, there's other bag companies out there that make really good bags, but that's what I like to go with. I got the Carnivore 3, and I like it because it's nice and round. It fits right on the bottom of the pack. I modified it a little bit. I did pick up their, I think it's called their salt bag. And I picked that salt bag up and I stuffed it in there, mostly for heads. So if you want to cover your head up on the way out, you could do that. And that's kind of why I did that, or hide. And so I carry 4 of their large quarter bags, a miscellaneous bag, and then their salt bag, which the salt bag again is for mostly hides or the head. On the very bottom, I have a dry bag. There's some things I still run KUIU. I recently switched over to Sitka for clothing. It's kind of one of those jumps. Do I want to do I debated it for a long time, and I did the jump, and I'm fairly happy with what I did. Now, KUIU I'm not going to knock on any company out there, really. I mean, if they make a bad product, I just won't even mention it. But KUIU does make good gear. It is a buyer consumer, so you go online and you order everything you need, but they have amazing dry bags. That is probably the one thing out of all the gear companies out there that I feel they really, 5-starred it, because their dry bags, are really nice. This is I want to say this is just their small, not their extra small, but they're small, and it rolls out pretty good, and it's just easy to roll up, waterproof. I usually carry my beanie, extra socks, a few little miscellaneous things. I think I got wet naps in here as well. So I'll be running all their dry bags. I'll be running. That's just what I like to do. So like in this bag, this is my miscellaneous. I'll open it up, show you what I run in there. We can do that right now. So in the miscellaneous bag, here's my pump. I run an MSR pump. This thing is freaking awesome. If you didn't have a bottle luckily I did in my story that I was telling you, I can drink straight from this. Just drop the hose right into the crick and just start pumping it into my mouth. But it also works for filling your bladder, fill pretty much everything, and it's pretty quick. I mean, the just like any other pump, but it takes a little bit, but it's not as bad as you think. Like it's actually pretty quick. You just got to be consistent with it, and it'll fill up an algae in, I don't know, a couple seconds. So really enjoy this thing. This is probably, I think it's like 50 bucks. Um, but it doesn't, I mean, it doesn't weigh anything. It's not very big. I mean, it fits in my palm of my hand. It's a pretty sweet deal. Also, I carry, my spoon, which is also an MSR spoon, or spork, I should say, for Mountain House Mills and Peak Mills and all that. Doesn't weigh nothing. Love it. I usually just carry a bunch of extra batteries. I got 2 headlamps. Right now I only have 1 in here, but one's in my truck because I always like to have one in my truck. But one of the headlamps, I have to change the batteries. The other headlamp, the one that's in my truck, is also rechargeable, which is super great. So I carry a couple extra batteries. Carry this. This is just a game cam checker. It's really sweet. Just plug it in my phone, put the SD card in. I got photos right on my phone. You carry that. Of course, I carry seasoning. I mean, why not? Salt and pepper and some, I think, maple jalapenos on the other side. It's pretty good from Cabela's. I usually carry a Flip Zero rechargeable, so I can recharge my phone because I run some apps on my phone. And obviously I can also charge my InReach. This is a very important tool. I think I bought this. I got the dual kit. When you do the dual kit, I'll give you a wall charger, and then you just plug both these in the wall, and then you just pull one when you need. So when you get back from the field, put one back on the charger, pull the other one. It's a handy tool. Sometimes I'll change it up. I'll have a couple other miscellaneous pieces in this, but for the most part, it all comes down to personal preference of what you want to run and stuff. But this gives me my comfort. I can recharge any device. I have water filtration. I have my spoon, which therefore I usually have my Jetboil sometimes. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I actually leave that at base camp and just pack a regular day lunch. Some bagels, some jerky, the essential things that you guys like to eat. You guys know what you're packing. So, but I always carry the seasoning just because you never know. You get blue grouse, maybe an elk down. Start cooking one up right then. But it doesn't weigh nothing. It's great to have a little bit of seasoning. You catch a fish. All right, continuing on. In the side pocket, this is where I usually carry. I'll usually put gloves in here. Easy to get to. Like I said, it's a suitcase style. I can unzip, reach in here, grab some gloves, and I will also carry my headlamp in here. And this is a Black Diamond headlamp. I think it's 400 looms. Really love this headlamp. This is the one that takes batteries, but it is super great. It's got a battery saving mode to let you know where your battery levels are. It dims way down. It goes to a red light or blue, I believe. But for the most part, this has probably been my favorite headlamp. Black Diamond, they make some good stuff. I run their trekking poles. They're a little on the high side. Yes, you can get cheaper stuff. I'm not saying you got to have the high quality stuff, but I've took over the years and saved all this money to get these products. And, I've always been a big believer. If someone makes something, let's take Mystery Ranch, for example, that's what they design. That's what they build is packs. So they're going to be passionate on how they build these things and how tough they're going to be. So therefore, they're going to be a good pack. It's like Black Diamond. They make a lot of accessories around you if you're a hiker, an outdoorsman, or a hunter or whatever. But they're going to build those accessories to your knowledge and make the best products they can possibly make. So those are the kind of products I believe in. Not to knock on any other product, but there is some names out there that just make everything, and it's like hard to focus that one item to make a perfect item. So I like to step back, see who the manufacturers are, and figure out who makes the best quality stuff. Sometimes they're expensive, sometimes they're not. I think my headlamp was 60 bucks. Yeah, you could buy a $20 one. This $60 one it's pretty nice, and it lasts a long time, and it's super bright. So on the bottom pack, there's another zipper on the very bottom of this suitcase style open pack. This is where I don't need in very often. This pack I hope I need all the time, but you never know. This is my kill pack. Again, it's a QU dry bag. This is their small. It's a zipper style, not the roll top. It's pretty sweet. Then I also bought a white one to make a first aid pack. Now, in the first aid, there's been just some discussions on what you need to carry in the backcountry for first aid. Do you need your average Band-Aid? Sure. So I did carry a couple of those. It was kind of funny because I just watched a video last year, or maybe it was the year before. I can't quite remember. It was with Corey Jacobson from Elk 101 and his group. I believe, I can't remember where they were, if they were in Oregon or what, but one of his buddies put a broadhead through his leg. And man, that would terrify a guy. I mean, they were watching the video though. They were calm. They were collective. They knew what they needed to do to help him. So recently, those are the two items. You got either headaches. It happens sometimes up there from dehydration. A lot of people don't realize that, maybe lack of food. So I always do carry Tylenol. I'll break into this real quick. I'll show you what I carry. I carry some waterproof tape. Works great like a moleskin if you start getting hot spots. But this stuff is tough. Like, you can wrap it around, I mean, anything, and it's pretty tough stuff. But it's really easy to work with too. It's not like a duct tape, which I also carry. Duct tape kind of can be a pain to work with, and it's really sticky on the backside. This stuff is sticky, but it's not. It doesn't leave that big resin when you pull off. So I like to carry this. It works great for hot spots. Also works great for bandaging. So when I watched that video, I kind of took into consideration to maybe get rid of some of the gauzes I have, because the gauzes I have, if I have a serious accident like that, then I'm probably not going to have enough gauze anyway to cover any wound. So I kind of reference went back to what they did, and they ran their game bags, which I think is, I mean, it's just a big giant cloth, so it will make sense. Hence why I brought the roll of tape. I've always kind of ran that stuff because of the hot spots. I don't get too many hot spots often, but then I got my fire starter. It's just a lighter. I got some cotton balls and Vaseline. I do have a striker. And this is my third light that I usually pack, and this thing is sweet. This thing is pretty cool. This thing is their Pitzel, and it's just a little, and it's bright. And it takes a little watch battery. It's in my first aid, knowing that I probably hope I never need this, but man, it's great. You can strap it to your pack and have a light, hands-free. You can put it on back on your head. It angles. It does some cool stuff. It's a pretty cool little light. And it does, I mean, look how big it is. My thumb. It's pretty sweet. So that's a good little piece. I think I picked that up at Cabela's, and they were on sale in the prior, and they had the bargaining cave still, and I think I picked it up for like $12. So it's like, why not? I usually carry some Tylenol, ibuprofen. These are cool. You can pick these pretty much in almost any hunting store, for the most part that I've seen. These are just little wet naps, and you got to soak them in water, and then they expand, and you can stretch them out and wipe your face down or whatever, wipe a wound down. But I carry 2 or 3 of these with me. They don't weigh nothing. Little compass. Do carry a ball compass. It's a comfort thing. I do carry a striker. This one's off a knife, so I do carry that just in case the lighter gets wet. And then here's your average day pill stuff. This would be more headache medicine. I think there's aspirin. There's a multiple little smorgasbord of pills here. Stuff I got Advil Cold with Sudafed. That's something that, I'm not telling you guys should buy, but look kind of into it. If you look at all the warning labels on it, but it's got Sudafed in it, so, which is super great. Kind of gives you that energy if you are sick, because usually I do get sick during them times. This is those are great little pills to take. Kind of keeps you that energy up. You almost feel like you're not sick, so they're handy. I kind of ran into those about 5 years ago, and I was like, man, those got to go in my pack. Those are just nice to have, because if I do feel a little down, I can pop a couple a day and I'm good to go. So for the most part, that's really what's in my first aid. It's mostly to help me get out of situations, more of a headache, a bad tummy, and obviously some big tapes and stuff if I have a big wound. There is some Band-Aids in there, if you little bumps and bruises and scrapes, everybody gets them. But for the most part, that's kind of what I carry, and it's this big. If I need more medical attention, that's why I reached into the InReach. I think that's a great tool, especially if an elk hunter is going way back in there. I almost think any outdoorsman needs one of these. If it doesn't weigh nothing, I'll get it out and I'll show you. I'm sure a lot of you guys maybe watching this video probably already know what I'm talking about. But man, the plans are great. You got Freedom plans. I keep that. It's kind of funny. My wife bought that for me for my birthday. It was more of a comfort gift for her, actually. So it works both ways. It makes me comfortable being there, but at the same time, it makes her comfortable that every morning I'll do a text message to her, and she gets it and she knows everything's good. Now for the kill kit, I usually have my license in here, but it's in the safe right now with some cool tags. But I usually carry flagging ribbing. I usually start not for pack out. I will if needed, but usually this is for when I start blood trailing. I'll carry a lot of this stuff because I can always look back, especially if it gets late. I do the reflective style. I can look back with my headlamp and I can start kind of seeing the pattern, what's going on, or where my last stop was. So I usually carry that, carry almost a full roll. I tried skimping and doing make my own rolls and rolling them up, but then I found out I'd run out. So that's not good. There's my duct tape I usually carry. Good tool to repair stuff. Nice little roll. Also great for, for your tag, putting on antlers or a leg or whatever. It's great stuff to have. Doesn't weigh nothing. And I usually carry some paracord, just in case I gotta tie a little bit extra. About 50 foot, maybe a little less. I don't feel like I need to carry a full 100-foot roll. I feel like it was I did for a while, and I felt like it was a little excessive. And then I got some more of that tape, but then I put it on my pin so I can fill my tag out and everything. I run an outdoor edge. This is the stuff that I'm telling you about fine tuning. I probably will be switching this up. I love this knife. Do not get me wrong. This is a good knife for any elk hunter out there. It's a replaceable blade style knife, and I always carry a pack full of them. Don't need a full pack. It's good to have because I've got multiple situations where I've been in the woods and got multiple animals, and through the season and I'm running the same dull blade. It's nice to switch blades real quick. It is a great knife to have. I actually bought this one. This is with the belt clip. I felt like it was a little lighter. I like the little rubber grip on it. It's not a full bulky rubber grip piece. The only issue I had with this knife, is all the Outdoor Edge changeable blades. If you get a lot of meat and hair in this channel where the knife sits in, it really gums it up to put a new blade in. So you got to really keep it clean, and once you get it cleaned up, it's not a big deal, but you got to maintenance this thing. And if you don't, I'm sure that's probably on all of them, but this one especially because it's got such a big channel, and if it gets full of hair and stuff, sometimes it's kind of hard to get the blade out if you let it sit and dry up. Then you have to sit and sink and let it soak. But other than that, that's the only issue I've had with this. I like how tough it is. You can pry on it and everything, So it's a great knife. I will be switching it up though. I'm pretty sure might run Gerber. They had some new knives come out, and I was really curious on them. I'm going to compare the two, but I've ran these for years, and it's going to be tough to change my mind, per se. But for the most part, that's pretty much what I'm running as a day pack. There's a few things, again, I'll bring back in. Obviously I run a Jetboil. That wasn't in the bag at this moment, but it's clean and getting cleaned right now. But for the most part, that's kind of my go-to for a day hunt, run and gun. Like I said, with water, varying on how much I take, varying the location, I'm running around 16 pounds for the whole bag. And let's just call it what it is. Let's say it's 20. This way you can change gear out, because sometimes I'll throw my Sitka vest in there. My rain jacket stays in there for the most part for pretty much the whole season. That's why I have it rolled up nice. It's right there. It's easy to get to. I think that's a good piece to have. You just never know when a rainstorm comes. But in windy Wyoming, it also works as a windbreak. So it's a multi-tool for me. And that's kind of what I go with, is multi-tools. Mystery Ranch, to me, is a pack. In general, their accessories are pretty sweet. But again, I will tell you, these QU dry bags are freaking sweet. You can see it in my hand. It doesn't weigh nothing. They're waterproof. You can get them wet, and whatever you have inside is great. So sometimes I carry another little one. Well, I guess it'd be their medium. This is what I carry my essentials, and sometimes I'll carry that if I know I'm going to go to a bivvy hunt, because this is where I probably put my inReach, my cell phone, my cords, couple other things, and then obviously this bag I'll include toiletries, So instead of just my water pump, I'll have my toothbrush in there, some toothpaste, maybe a little deodorant. And that's what's nice about the roll top. I can also carry maybe an extra pair of underwear, maybe 2 pairs of socks. But usually don't carry 2. I run Darn Tough socks. They're that merino wool style hybrid sock, and I've had pretty good success with those. They're light, they're comfy, they're they're lifetime proof supposedly. I guess and I've tried it. I got a little hole by my toe when I took them in. And they're like, oh, get the same weight and just switch them out. So that was pretty cool. And I think those run about $25 per pair. But I've already went through 2 pairs for $25, and I'll probably by the end of this season probably have another, a third pair. So I'm getting my money's worth. But for the most part, that's what I run. Like I said, it will change it up a little bit, depending on. Sometimes in this mystery bag, my miscellaneous bag, I'll sometimes throw an extra release in there. Not too often I will. You got to take your pack like, hey, what am I doing? Where am I going? And kind of figure out that before you start packing. Because if you know you're going 13, 14, 15, 16 miles, yeah, it might be a good idea to have an extra release, because you get about 7 miles in and you're like, crap. Some hunts I go, I'm only 6.5, 7 miles in. It's not bad to turn around. Yeah, it sucks you didn't have a release, but that's kind of the responsibility of being a hunter. Do you want to carry that extra stuff? It depends on your weight. What are you comfortable carrying with? What I do, like I said from the beginning of this video, is I run heavy during the off season and I run light during the deering season. It just makes my life that much easier, much more comfortable. If you're going to be more comfortable, you're going to stay out in the field more. Back in the day when I used to carry the kitchen sink, I would run extra release. I'd have Allen wrenches with me. I'd have, oh man, you name it. I'd have a full first aid kit. Just this giant first aid kit that probably was going to be pretty much pointless for everything I ever needed. I never needed to touch it. So I was carrying 6 pounds by itself just in first aid. And it's like, do I need this? Do I not need this? And it sucks because you do play a mind game and well, what if I need it? Okay, so then you need to sit down and really ask yourself, what do you need in there? What do you really need in there? Because there's some things that's probably not going to help. Having a tourniquet, sure. By all means, I'm thinking about doing it myself, having a tourniquet in my pack. But I also run my paracord. So if you can get creative, you can get away without packing a whole bunch of crap. Now, some of these bag dump reviews that people have watched, they do carry the kitchen sink, but they're also doing a little bit different style of hunting. Maybe they're going in more of a desert climate, or vice versa. Sometimes they're lighter than what I'm even packing. It just makes you got to sit down and be like, am I going to be comfortable? Picture yourself in a storm. That's how I did it. Picture yourself in a storm. Everything in my pack, could I figure it out? And I've checked yes on all my things. That's why I go all the way back from extra batteries to maybe carrying an extra little battery cell. I can charge my inReach and get help if I needed. That's the key. And there's a lot of things you can eliminate. But for the most part, we'll go back to kind of touch on what I was telling you about clothing. I didn't bring it out, but I switched over to Sitka. And so far, testing it so far this year, been pretty happy with it. Can't say much. I can't really dog on them. They're really neck and neck between the two companies. There is one piece, guilty as charged, that I will not switch, that I feel like Sitka might need to pick up. And this isn't a bash, but anymore, a lot of people I notice, King's Camo is doing it, Q's doing it, and now First Light's doing it, which they also make great pieces too. Their insulation pieces are great. But they make the zip-off long johns. Man, I'm telling you, that's a piece. And Q makes one. I think I did their fleece line style. It's really light. They don't weigh nothing. And they just zip right off. I don't even have to take my boots off. Pull your pants down, unzip them, put them in your pack, continue on with your day. It gets cold that evening, pull your pants down, put them back on, zip them up, down the legs, pull your pants back up, you're ready to go. I feel like Sitka kind of needs to pick up on that process because everybody else has. But for the most part, I think their gear is really great. I haven't had any complaints with them so far. maybe I'm going to do a lot more field testing this year, obviously, with them. This is my first year running them. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to have a problem with them, but I will say Q did make some good gear, and I was proud to have them, and I still will order some of their stuff. Like, I love these dry bags. I can't preach these enough. These are sweet, and they make great. I mean, my pack's completely, I know exactly what's in my pack, where everything's at, without taking up a whole bunch of room in my pack. I still got a ton of room. I can put clothing in. I can put, you know, more Mountain House meals with the Jetboil. I got tons of room. But then again, I know when I pull this, I know this is, you know, I got a headache. I can pull this. This is my kill kit. Everything I need is in this bag that I need. So just little things like that. That's kind of what I run. Again, this is a personal preference game. You can run anything that you would like to run as long as it makes you guys feel comfortable. But kind of remember what you might be packing. Are you a day hunter? Are you a bivvy hunter? Now, I have bivvied before. There's a couple items that change around again. But for the most part, I like to run and gun. So I guess there's one thing I didn't have on there was my bugle tube right now. I guess I didn't even think about that. But for the most part, this is pretty much what you're seeing. I did weigh everything when it was in the pack. Without water, with the bugle tube, everything that you see in the bugle tube and everything, I'm running around 11 pounds without water. That's the killer right there. You need it, but it's heavy. So if I was to not run water ever and just run my pump, maybe I'd be super light. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy with my setup. Yeah, I'll probably get some comments saying, hey, you might want to try this out, or try this out, or try this out. And I will, trust me. I change it up a lot, but for the most part, I like to be organized. That's the number one rule in my pack, is I like to be organized. I get a lot of grief saying, wow, you're over organized, but I know where everything's at. And I feel like that's great, because a couple of my buddies, you'll open their bag and it looks like just a closet, you know, one of them junk drawers that you get. No idea where everything's at. And I'm not that guy. I kind of OCD on this stuff. And I like to be able to be organized. If I need to get my pump, I know exactly where it's at. So that's a good tip. Now, there's a piece of gear in here that I wasn't gonna make this video this long. There is a piece of gear in here that's not in the bag, and I'm using it right now, and that's my phone. There's an app, and a lot of hunters have heard it, but there's also a lot of hunters that have heard it and not downloaded it, and that's onX. Again, I should disclose everything. I don't get paid from any of these guys. I run what I know works. I've tried tons of stuff. I run what I'm comfortable with, and I know it works. Now, onX is a great app. It's $30 a year, guys. It's not that bad. I mean, the technology they have on onX, yes, there's other map companies, and I'm not saying they're bad, but onX was kind of the leading of this. And for $30 a month, because there's other app companies I notice now, they're saying, oh, it's free. I'd rather spend the $30 a month, because once you download that, you're going to see why you're paying that $30 a month. And I feel like that's cheap. Honestly, I think for a membership for a year, for what I get to use this onX for, I mean, there's multiple things you could do. I mean, I can text my buddy waypoints off my phone. I can go off grid, download maps, and have satellite imaging right across the hill. It tracks my phone. I've tracked it right next to my Garmin, and they're parallel. The lines are parallel. There's no glitches. It's been a great thing. And you can take photos and kind of set where your waypoints were. You can, you know, there's a ton. There's Firewatch. There's a weather station they just added. That weather station is super sweet. It's not really where I hunt, but elevation wise, and it's kind of the same parallel with everything. So I kind of get an idea, like, oh, it's 43 degrees up there right now. That's probably roughly what it's going to be where I'm going. But it's a great app, and it's great for data. You can take notes, especially when you set a waypoint and go through and edit it. You can set notes why you even set that waypoint instead of just setting waypoints. But they give you multiple options. They got cool little logos. So like they even have, you know, trail cams all the way to four-wheeler camp, etc., etc., etc. They even have Sasquatch on there. They have, if you're big into mushroom picking, they have a mushroom symbol. It's pretty cool app, man. They have also on the back side of that, they also have a lot more other features and other layers. They have a Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation layer, and shows you where all their projects have been. Again, I think I mentioned the Fire app. I think, or the Fires, and they break down your dates. Eastman's Hunting Journal has their own little filter on there where you can kind of like compare your state and show where like your trophy areas are. And also, man, there's a ton of, I'm telling you, $30. That's it, and you can play on it for hours. There's a couple guys in town that didn't have it, and they're drawing a unit. One of my buddies actually drew a unit. He's been waiting for a long time to draw, and I asked him. I've been in this unit a few times, and I asked him, "Do you have onX? We can kind of compare notes and stuff." And he's just like, "Well, no. I mean, I thought about it. No, don't think about it. Just get it." Um, it's a tool that I don't even rely on my GPS often. Do I pack it? Yes. I run the onX more than anything, and just because of what you can do. Instead of looking at a GPS, it's real hard to navigate. The pixelation's not great. You have your phone. It's hands down one of the best map tools I've used. So with that being said, you can leave me some comments. You can even leave me suggestions. You know, I'm up for always changing things up. I mean, there's always better products out there I haven't discovered yet, but I'm always on the horizon to look for. But man, I'm telling you, just pack what you're comfortable with. Anybody can show you what they're packing. And that was kind of my point. I wanted to show you what I packed because there's going to be a lot of disagreements on it. Pack what you feel is comfortable, but always take in consideration, if you're in that rainstorm, can you survive? Or did you get hurt? Do I have the essentials that I need to get me out of the woods? That's the biggest thing. And obviously when you harvest an animal, you have all the tools. Don't forget your knife, guys. But yeah, leave me comments. Email me. Whatever you guys need to do, Facebook, message me, it doesn't matter. I'm mostly on Instagram these days. I've kind of steered away from the Facebook. It's a jumbled mess, I think, with that as of right now. So I'm kind of more on the Instagram side. It's a little bit cleaner. Yeah, shoot me a message and I can go over tips. I can go over more gear. There's other gear I've tried. You can even ask me, hey, have you tried this? And I can let you know if I have or not and tell you kind of a review on it. I don't want to bash people. I don't want to bash companies, but there's things I've tried and it didn't work for me. And it might work for you, but it didn't work for me. So, all right, guys. I think the next video, I don't know. We'll leave it up to what I get for emails and we'll go from there. But I appreciate you guys sticking around, checking what I run, and be safe out there, guys. Thanks.